One small bakery flame turned an entire capital into an ocean of fire within days. Families ran through burning streets carrying only what they could hold. By the time the flames finally died, one of Europe's greatest cities had been reduced to smoking ruins. London in 1666 was one of Europe's bestiest cities. Most buildings were made from dry timber, and the streets were narrow. Houses stood so close together that neighbors could almost touch each other's windows from across the road. Only 1 year earlier, London had survived the Great Plague. Thousands had already died from disease. The city was still recovering when another disaster arrived. This time, the enemy was not sickness, it was fire itself. The fire began shortly after midnight on 2 September 1666 inside the bakery of Thomas Farriner on Pudding Lane. Strong winds quickly carried burning sparks from roof to roof, making the flames impossible to control. At first, many people believed the fire could be stopped. The usual method was to pull down nearby houses and create open space. But valuable property was involved and earlier decisions were delayed until it was far too late. King Charles II quickly ordered stronger action, but the wind was now too powerful. Fire leaped across narrow streets, setting entire neighborhoods alight. Every hour, the burning city became harder to save. Soon the fire became a terrifying storm of heat. Burning wood rained through the air, and frightened families escaped toward the river. Thames crying children food and whatever precious belongings they could save before everything disappeared. By the second day, the fire had become unstoppable. Strong east winds pushed flames across entire streets in minutes. Wooden homes, shops, and warehouses burned together, creating a wall of fire that terrified everyone who saw it. People escaped with whatever they could carry. Some loaded carts with furniture. Others pushed barrels, boxes, or family treasures towards open fields outside the city. Many lost everything they had built over a lifetime. The fire reached London's busy commercial districts. Warehouses filled with oil, wood, cloth, or other goods exploded into flame. Every new building that caught fire made the disaster even more powerful and difficult to stop. One of the greatest losses was St. Paul's Cathedral, the old medieval church surrounded by wooden scaffolding during repairs. Became trapped by the flames. Soon, one of the London's most famous landmarks was completely burning. People believed the thick stone walls of St. Paul's would protect valuable books and documents stored inside. Instead, the extreme heat destroyed priceless manuscripts that had survived for centuries, leaving only ashes behind. After several days, desperate authorities finally created wildfire breaks by demolishing buildings with gunpowder. Without nearby wooden houses to feed it, the fire slowly began losing its terrible strength. By 6 September 1666, the Great Fire was finally under control. Around 13,000 houses, 87 parish churches, and many important public buildings had been destroyed, changing London's future forever. Today, visitors can still see evidence connected to the Great Fire of London. Show a close up of an ancient artifact in a museum case. Burned household objects, metal tools, and personal belongings help historians understand how suddenly ordinary lives were changed forever. The Great Fire also lives on through maps, letters, and official records. Show a close up of an ancient artifact in a museum case. These original documents allow researchers to follow the fire almost street by street. One of the most famous reminders in the monument to the Great Fire of London. Show a close up of an ancient artifact in a museum case. Together with preserved objects, it continues to tell the story of the disaster to every new generation. And the smoke finally cleared. London faced the enormous task of rebuilding. Wider streets, stronger building rules, and more brick and stone construction helped create a safe city, reducing the risk of another disaster on the same scale. Although many stories blamed foreign enemies or secret plots, historians found no evidence that a planned attack caused the disaster. Most research points to an accidental fire that spread because of weather, building design, and delayed action. The darkest truth about the Great Fire of London is that one small flame exposed how quickly an entire city could fall. It changed London's future forever. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe and comment which dark story I should expose next.